What's up, Toxie crew? Get ready for a whirlwind tour of the wrestling universe, kicking off with some serious controversy. We're talking about Shotzi Blackheart stepping into the ring to defend Becky Lynch, offering a new perspective on that Ozzy Osbourne promo that had everyone talking. Next up, hold onto your hats as we dissect the latest episode of Raw. Jey Uso is making waves, channeling his inner tribal chief and shaking things up. We'll dive into his evolving dynamics and the fallout from his actions. Then, things get really intense as we break down an absolutely massive face-off. CM Punk and AJ Lee went head-to-head with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch in a confrontation that had the entire arena buzzing. You won't believe the sparks that flew. And that's just scratching the surface of what went down. We've got all the angles covered on this stacked episode of Raw. Make sure you're subscribed and the bell is ringing so you don't miss any of our deep dives. Smash that like button and join the Toxie family. Shotzi Blackheart defends Becky Lynch amidst Ozzy Osbourne promo backlash. There's been a firestorm of debate surrounding Becky Lynch's recent promo in Birmingham, England, where she made a reference to the late, great Ozzy Osbourne, a beloved local legend. This comment didn't sit well with everyone, notably drawing a strong reaction from Ozzy's daughter, Kelly Osbourne, who publicly labeled Lynch a disrespectful dirtbag. Now, former WWE superstar Shotzi Blackheart is weighing in, offering a fresh perspective on the controversy in a candid interview. Speaking on the TMZ Inside the Ring podcast, Shotzi, who revealed herself to be a devoted Ozzy Osbourne fan, shared her empathy for the Osbourne family's grief. However, she argued that Becky Lynch's remarks were not born out of malice. Instead, Shotzi attributes the entire uproar to a simple, unfortunate case of bad timing. I feel for Kelly because I was so close to my father, and when he passed, everything was really sensitive to me about it, Shotzi explained. So I don't think that Kelly really meant that. I think she's just really vulnerable right now, because I think that Becky was putting Ozzy over, and I think that she's a huge Ozzy fan, and I don't think that she meant it that way, because she's also a heel, and Ozzy was a big part of WWE. Hunter loved Ozzy so much. So I think that they kind of just wanted to pay a little tribute to him, and then also shit on Birmingham. Shotzi elaborated, and I just think the timing was just so off. And obviously, Kelly and her family are going through a lot, and everything's just really sensitive right now. So yeah, it was just not the time. I disagree with the timing on that, but I do think that everyone at WWE loves Ozzy, as the world does. So yeah, it's hard to say. Her comments suggest a nuanced view, separating artistic intent from the impact of poor timing during a period of intense grief. This discussion has ignited a passionate response online, with fans divided between defending Lynch's character as a performer and sympathizing with the Osbourne family's pain. Analysts are also weighing in, noting how such controversies highlight the fine line between edgy wrestling entertainment and genuine disrespect. Don't go anywhere, because the fallout from this Raw episode is far from over. Up next, we're diving deep into the Tribal Chief saga and a seismic showdown that shook the foundations of WWE. Jey Uso's Tribal Chief ascent and Raw's fallout. Jey Uso is currently reigning supreme, seemingly claiming ownership over the island of relevancy, one table slam at a time on this week's Raw. His current trajectory is nothing short of fascinating. The episode kicked off with LA Knight launching an attack on Jey Uso, a direct retaliation for Jey getting the upper hand last week. This led to Adam Pearce's intervention, with LA Knight demanding tag team action to settle the score. Knight's chosen partner? None other than Jimmy Uso, a move clearly designed to get under Jey's skin. At this pivotal moment, Jey Uso is exhibiting behavior eerily similar to his cousin, Roman Reigns. When Jimmy Uso politely declined LA Knight's offer, citing a desire to avoid taking sides and to stay fresh for Wrestlepalooza, he later caught Jey on the phone discussing matters with an unknown party. Jey's evasiveness about this conversation and his subsequent directive to Jimmy to decline LA's invitation, emphasizing that family is all that matters, mirrors Roman's manipulative tactics. Jimmy, sensing the hypocrisy in Jey's attempt to dictate terms, rightly scoffed, pointing out the lack of an ula fala around his neck, questioning Jey's authority. Ironically, Jay's actions push Jimmy directly into LA Knight's waiting arms, a classic Roman Reigns maneuver where attempting to control outcomes often leads to unintended consequences. The main event saw Jimmy Uso and LA Knight take a loss against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, a necessary outcome to elevate the latter pair heading into Wrestlepalooza. This loss, however, raises questions about Jay's reaction. Will he blame Jimmy for choosing LA over family and putting them in a precarious position just days before a major tag team match? This potential rift, while not Jimmy's fault, echoes the dynamics within the bloodline, where family often became a euphemism for Roman's control. Adding another layer, the women's division saw a close match between Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria. Despite Lyra's gutsy performance, factoring in a previous back injury, she ultimately lost. The post-match beatdown by Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez seemed inevitable, but the true story unfolded with Bayley's dramatic return. She intervened to save Lyra, only for Lyra to later overhear Bayley engaged in a disturbing, violent internal monologue. While the introduction of this storyline was intriguing, hinting at depth and tragedy, the execution, particularly the rapid shift from aggression to embrace and the campy backstage segment, leaves questions about its potential for compelling storytelling. Fans are buzzing about Jay's evolving persona and the potential for internal conflict within his alliances, while the wrestling community debates the nuanced portrayal of Bayley's mental state. The narrative is clearly setting the stage for major developments, especially with the upcoming ESPN debut show. But the drama doesn't stop there. A monumental clash of titans is on the horizon. Get ready for a face-off that will go down in history as we preview the epic confrontation between CM Punk, AJ Lee, Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch. Epic showdown, Punk and Lee versus Rollins and Lynch on Raw. This week's Raw delivered a seismic event as the brand's Wrestlepalooza Go-Home show culminated in an unforgettable face-to-face confrontation. The air crackled with anticipation as CM Punk and AJ Lee stood off against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, setting the stage for what promises to be an explosive event. John Cena also made a significant appearance on the show, adding star power and further fueling the anticipation for Wrestlepalooza. However, the central narrative that captivated the audience was the volatile encounter between these four top-tier superstars. The tension was palpable as Punk, Lee, Rollins, and Lynch exchanged heated words, with implications for their respective paths and rivalries. This segment, meticulously recapped in Jason Powell's audio review for ProWrestling.net, highlights the intense build-up. Powell's review, available for streaming and download, delves into the nuances of the interactions, providing listeners with an in-depth analysis of the promo and its potential ramifications. The face-off was not just a verbal sparring match. It was a strategic chess game, with each competitor vying for psychological advantage. CM Punk and AJ Lee, known for their intense personas and chemistry, presented a formidable united front against the formidable pairing of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, who themselves have a storied history and fierce competitive spirits. The segment, fully captured and presented for viewers, showcased the raw emotion and intensity that these athletes bring to the ring. It's moments like these that underscore why WWE programming continues to command such a massive following, blending personal rivalries with high-stakes championship implications. Online discourse is dominated by fan predictions and analyses of this monumental face-off. Many are speculating on the potential outcomes and the impact this confrontation will have on the Wrestlepalooza card, eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this epic saga. And if you thought that was intense, brace yourselves for the final piece of the puzzle. We're wrapping up our Raw recap with a look at another major player, making their presence felt in the WWE Universe. John Cena's presence looms large on Raw's Wrestlepalooza Go-Home show. As WWE Raw geared up for its massive Wrestlepalooza event, the presence of none other than John Cena added another layer of star power and intrigue to the crucial Go-Home show on September 15, 2025. Cena's appearance served as a significant moment, amplifying the excitement and raising the stakes for the upcoming pay-per-view. While the full details of his segment are part of the broader recap, His involvement underscores the importance of this particular episode in building momentum towards Wrestlepalooza. This show was particularly notable for the intense face-off between CM Punk and AJ Lee against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. The clash of these established stars, coupled with Cena's appearance, created an electric atmosphere, hinting at the major storylines and rivalries that would unfold at the event. The narrative surrounding these confrontations is meticulously covered in various recaps, including Jason Powell's detailed audio review for ProWrestling.net. These analyses delve into the strategic implications of each segment, highlighting how Cena's presence, alongside the Punk-Lee versus Rollins-Lynch dynamic, was designed to maximize fan engagement and anticipation. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting the impact of Cena's appearance, speculating on his role and potential involvement in future storylines stemming from Wrestlepalooza. His enduring popularity ensures that any appearance generates significant buzz and discussion within the WWE community. And that's a wrap on our top stories from a packed week in wrestling. Stay tuned for a lightning-fast recap and all the ways you can stay connected with Toxie. And that's a wrap on a massive week in wrestling. We saw Shotzi Blackheart weigh in on Becky Lynch's controversial promo, Jey Uso continue his tribal chief journey on Raw, and an epic face-off between CM Punk, AJ Lee, Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch, all while John Cena made his presence felt. Don't miss a single update, smash that like button, subscribe to Toxie for all your wrestling news, ring the notification bell so you're always in the loop, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and follow us on all our socials to stay connected. We'll see you next time.